Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a potential major hurricane that actually could come close to the United States. We're going to be talking about all of that within this video. Now, we're going to want to watch this one extremely closely because it could really be a close call for the eastern United States. We're going to have to watch this one, like I said, very, very closely. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, what do you think is going to happen with this one? Let me know in the comments down below what your opinion is, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video. We're taking a look at the overall Atlantic 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And there's actually a lot going on out there. Peter and Rose look to be dissipating and they will be done. Peter actually is done. It's just still showing up there. Rose is going to be done in a couple of days. And then we do have a disturbance up there for very far north, kind of offshore of Newfoundland heading south. That one should be a non-event as well. It's this Tropical Depression 18, the circle down there towards the bottom, that we're going to be watching very, very closely. Let's just one by one take a look at these. First off, that disturbance. We have a 60% chance of development. We're going to need to see what happens with that one. Obviously, it could be a threat, maybe, but usually this is not a sign that we have anything to worry about. But, you know, anything is possible, so we will remain watching that one as it potentially develops. Here is Peter, and as you can see, remnants of Peter dissipated at 11 p.m. September 22nd, which was last night. So this one is pretty much done for, but we can see the location of that one there. Now, we also have post-tropical cyclone Rose, expected to be a post-tropical depression. Pretty much through the morning on Saturday, where it should dissipate around that time. Could happen earlier, could happen later, but the expectations are that this one will pretty much dissipate at some point here in the near future. And then here is our cone forecast for Tropical Depression 18. As you can see, it should be a tropical storm by this afternoon, and it should be a hurricane actually by Saturday night. So this one is actually pretty rapidly going to develop and a pretty hefty storm. And by 2 a.m. on Tuesday, the National Hurricane Center says it could be a major hurricane as early next week. So that is a pretty rapid turn of events from a tropical depression to a major hurricane. And I've talked about throughout the hurricane season, and you guys have probably heard me say this for years, but these ones that head north of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Haiti are the biggest threats. And that is finally, with this one, what is expected to happen. We've seen system after system kind of go south of those regions. We've been spared a lot, but this one does have my full attention. I am quite worried about this one because it will have a better opportunity to develop based on the track that it is currently taken. And if you've noticed, we haven't had any big East Coast threats for the most part at all so far this hurricane season. So it's going to be interesting and pretty worryful to see if this one will be that threat that we have not seen in quite a while. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at some modeled guidance, the percent chance for tropical depression, tropical storm, and then even hurricane. And then we're going to move on and talk about some spaghetti model guidance and even intensity guidance. And then we'll move on, take a look at some satellite imagery and simulated radar for the future to see how rapidly this one could become a very, very potent storm. All right, now here is the probability of tropical depression. As you can see, this is according to the European model. This is days 4 through 7. It'll have a 90 to 100% chance of still being a tropical depression. The main reason I wanted to show this is for two reasons. One, because you could see, again, it is expected to go north of Puerto Rico. Two, we have another disturbance, according to this model, forming behind it in our main development region, an 80 to 90% chance of tropical depression status for September 27th through September 30th. So in kind of the medium range, we can be taking a look at another tropical disturbance. Here's days 0 through 3 again, and this is for tropical depression. It is currently a tropical depression, so it's no surprise there's a 90 to 100% chance of it being a tropical depression, while it is already a tropical depression. That should be pretty self-explanatory. But probability of tropical storm status, days 0 through 3, which is going to be the 23rd through the 26th from the time I'm making this video, there's an 80 to 90% chance of tropical storm status. And then moving on again to days 3 through 6 is going to be the 26th through the 29th of September. We can see that there's a 90 to 100% chance still of tropical storm status, and again, expected to go north of Puerto Rico. There's currently, according to this model, a 60 to 70% chance of that one in the main development region becoming a tropical storm. Super interesting stuff. we might have 2 storms to watch. Here's the probability of hurricane days 6 through 9, which is kind of when this model would expect the peak probability of hurricane status. Right now, it has a 40 to 50% chance. I do expect this to go up. Sometimes this model is a little bit conservative with things like this compared to the spaghetti model guidance and also the intensity guidance, which we will take a look at in actually just a moment. So let's take a look at, first off, our GEFS model. And as you can see, this one thankfully looks like it's going to go out to sea towards the north, even maybe going east to Bermuda, according to this model, as a very strong storm, kind of in the 970s or 950s, somewhere in between there. So even 960s is possible as well. All those yellow lines there is indicating a stronger storm and depicting the path that this storm should take according to each individual member of this ensemble model. Here's the Canadian model, and this one's usually a little bit more all over the place, and today it definitely is. We can see anything from way east of Bermuda to a curve back towards the east coast, which would be a very, very impactful solution. Thankfully, there's only 2 members that are calling for this at this point. But again, as you can see, all of these members go north of Puerto Rico, and it was the same story on the GEFS model. We only have 1 that is hitting Puerto Rico here, and that would be a less impactful solution because those mountainous regions in Puerto Rico would definitely eat this one up. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is move on, take a look at the European ensemble model, which looks much, much more worrisome. We're even going to take a look at the individual members and then that intensity guidance. And then we're going to take a look at the satellite imagery and simulated radar over the next few days. All right, now here is our European ensemble model. And as you can see, this one takes this one on a much more worrisome track. We do have a lot of these heading towards curving up towards Bermuda, but we do have a few of these that like to take it towards the Bahamas, a bigger handful than the rest of the models did. And this is cutting it a little bit closer than the other 2 models that we just took a look at. So the European model right now is the most on board with a more concerning look, heading a lot closer to the East Coast than the other 2 models. We're going to need to watch this one closely. Things can change overnight. We see these trends oftentimes look different over time. So there is a good chance that this one could trend more and more towards an East Coast hit, unfortunately. There's also a really good chance that this one will trend more towards an out-to-sea look, which will be a much, much better solution. So right now, this one is up in the air 50-50. This one could be a big threat or it could be a big non-threat. So it's really up in the air. We still have a lot of time to go. Here is the individual models. As you can see, and all of these kind of take it north of Puerto Rico, kind of heading enough towards the west to be concerning, enough towards the north to be optimistic, though, as well, kind of in a northwesterly direction. So that is not adding any confidence in either direction for me. Here's the intensity guidance, and outside of those 2 at the bottom, which I have no idea what those ones are doing, we pretty much are going to be going for some pretty rapid development. And within 48 to 72 hours, this one should already be a hurricane. And within 72 to 96 hours, this one should be a Category 2 at least. And by hours 100 or so, this one, according to all probability here, a majority of these models have this one heading over Category 3 status and some even into Category 4 status by hours 100 to hours 120. 120 marks 5 days. So within the next 5 days, we should see this one go from a tropical depression to a major hurricane, which in my opinion is quite rapid as far as intensification goes. Here's the satellite imagery currently, and as you can see, it's actually a very organized and tightly knitted storm, which usually means this one will have a quite easy time developing. Here is the simulated radar, and this is going to be for kind of tomorrow morning time frame, and this one already looks a lot worse by this point. Again, it's going to develop quite rapidly. And then even by Sunday, this is going to be, or actually, you know what, better yet, this is about Saturday evening time frame. Look at that. That's likely a hurricane, obviously, with that kind of eye you can see in the radar. This is already looking like a very intense storm by that point. And then certainly by Sunday at about 2 p.m. here, according to this model, you can see this one looks like a major hurricane already on that model. This specific hurricane model is known for overdoing things a little bit, so it might take a bit longer than that model is specifying. At this point, our confidence is a 4 out of 6, mostly because the track is uncertain at this point. Where it's a very long-range storm here at this point, whether we can tell if it's out to sea or an East Coast hit. So there's multiple solutions with a dramatic contrast in impacts based on some small changes that can happen over the next 5 days or 7 days. So confidence for that reason is kind of mid-tier. We're going to be watching this one very closely for you guys here at Direct Weather. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what are your temperatures looking like in the near future? And Joe Montega said September 21st in Derry, New Hampshire. As some of you may know, New Hampshire is my favorite state. It was 46 in the morning and 68 is a high. I personally cannot wait to be feeling temperatures like that in the near future here in Virginia. Beautiful, beautiful fall-like weather there for you. Congratulations. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, John Ben Bennett, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Lira the Pan, and Donna Carnes. Alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Tinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Flago, Gary's, John Calisi, Dwight Phelan, and Stephen Crenenthal. If you'd like to be part of this very awesome patron entry of the day, you can do so by joining our very amazing Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I'd also like to thank our channel members Hair Farms 1, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather related content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.